Hello? Hi. Okay, I think my card will swipe for that. I'll come up back there and try. Thank you. 48, 48. I think my card will swipe for that. I'm not sure. Uh, I'll go back and try. If anything, I can leave and recheck, check back out, or leave and come back and get a couple dollars.
You wanted to move on.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was gonna say.
Is 139 okay? Because that's the only other one I have on the first floor. Otherwise, you have to move upstairs.
I can move upstairs because then I wouldn't hear people walk. Like I said, I'm not completely positive it's gonna swipe.
Well, I can do some cash and whatever.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, $4 in cash, and then I have my card, which so if it minus, can you subtract the 4 off of that? Okay, I should see if it'll swipe. And I can come back later today with the funds, if that's
I can't do that, but I might be able to help you cover what you can't get.
okay. Cool.
So you want to do the cash
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
How much is it?
4 on cash.
$44, $48.
Then I'm like under $10 short.
You don't know how much you have on there?
No, I'm pretty sure it's 10. I'm missing. Today's Sunday. See, I'm so tired.
Technically, you still owe $10.
Yeah. I can come back with that, and I can come back with that. Be cool. If not today, first thing Monday morning, regardless, or like.
I'll pay the cash for now, and then if you have it,
I'll have
if
it.
you don't.
No, I'll come back with it. I'll come back with it. I just kind of want, like, the bus will stop running at 5 today, so I can go. God, I want to get a little more sleep and then go do that.
You're gonna be in 235.
Okay.
When you're done in the room you're in, just lock your keys in.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I left my key in my room. Would you be able to let me back in?
What room?
135. I'm moving up to 235. It's 139.
Illinois.
They're moving me up because of the noise.
I thought you said 135.
I did. I meant to say 130. That's 135.
I'm going to somebody's
I
room.
know.
Is there anyone in there?
No, nobody's in there.
Housekeeping.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yep, that's
Is your
it.
stuff?
Yeah, that's my stuff.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
You move me up. I appreciate it. I don't know, this video is so I have to donate plasma to pay for that $10 because my birth certificate was stolen, ripped up, my guitar was stolen, my clothing was stolen, and my grandmother was assaulted. And when I went to seek refuge it is called refuge, everybody who would be listening to this. When you're a victim of domestic violence, you go, the domestic violence, there's 2 shelters in Rockford, Illinois, and one of them refuses to help out a victim such as myself. It's because of my gender, and the family who owns it. You go to a homeless shelter here in Rockford, Illinois that has stringent rules and doesn't let you go to the doctor when you're to get an emergency extraction, and they will threaten you, and they will tell you to clean up their property, and they will not feed you well. And if you want to eat well, if you want to eat healthy, they make you. It takes an hour to go to the store to a healthier produce, to get healthier produce, and you can't bring that food back. So it takes an hour to get back, and so it's 2 hours of your day, and you have to be back at 3 p.m. So in the morning time, you got to clean up, and then you have to, and so you're not able to leave there until around like 10. Um, they get you up at 10 a.m. and you have to be back at 3 p.m. So you have, so if you think about it, if you did leave at 10, and you were able to catch the bus on time, you have, which the bus departs at 15 after, so technically 10:15 is when you get on the bus. So you get on the bus at 10:15. So 10:15 to 11:15 is an hour. 11:15 to 12:15 is another hour, and that's just to get to and from. The first two are just to get to where you need to go and come back. So 12. So you only have one. You only have 1:15, and you only have 1:15. You only have like an hour because if you leave at 2:15, if you leave at 2:15, you'll be late. You'll be late because you'll arrive back at 3:15, and because you're late, they kick you out. And so in that hour, you must go shopping and get food that's warm, or have somebody cook it for you, which is difficult, and then eat your food, and then eat your food on pretty much on the way back, because on the public transportation you can't like eat you can't sit there and spend the hour and eat food. You can't eat food. And meanwhile, and this is because I'm waiting for a birth certificate to get paid, to get a job to get paid, and pay for an extraction. And so what they request. So I had to go to my dentist because the hospital doesn't perform this procedure, and so they told me to sleep outside because I was late, because and it was like 15 below. When you're at the homeless shelter, they get you up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they feed you at 7 o'clock or 7:30. 7:30 they feed you. So you must get up and sit there for 2.5 hours and wait for food. Leaving is not it's not okay. I was told I could not leave. The bus runs early, but they tell you can't leave to go get food, because they say the food that they provide is enough. Like right now, I'm holding up my food. I'm so deprived of sleep. Right now, I'm holding up my phone. I used to be able to hold my phone up like this for an hour and a half. I was so strong, and now like just this few minutes, like it hurts to hold this phone up. I worked out every day. The staff. So what I have to do is, I would like to get some sleep today, but I have to go donate my plasma because I can't get a birth certificate, because it's getting sent to the homeless shelter, and now I can't get it. And people here think that social services are able to help and are here. So why would I not utilize the social services, since other people are utilizing them? For instance, because I was working out, I spent my evenings, my nights working out. I always worked out overnight. Um, for the 3.5 years straight, I'd work out uh, about 5 days a week, and I would work out overnight um, because I wouldn't have to wait for the gym equipment. But because I was working out overnight here at a facility, at a Y, and they said I couldn't stay that many hours while I was working out, and I was banned. Because it upset it upset them when I said that I'm just working out overnight. The person who was upset, I had a perfect body, perfect mind. And the person who was upset was imperfect and large, and didn't understand that I eat spinach. I was eating spinach, and then at my house I wasn't even able to cook, and I wasn't loud. I had music on the entire time, and it upset them because I was healthy, and because they got upset that because they got upset I couldn't go to any of them. And so I'm like holding my arm up right now with my phone. I'm holding my arm up right now with my phone. And so, because we tend to we tend to think people that look perfect and act perfect, that well, we tend to think that that less of them, or that they're hot-headed, and I was kept to myself. Hot-headed would be the reason, but I'm not hot-headed, so it's not. And so and when you are, well, because I seem like I have a good head on my shoulders, they wanted to psychoanalyze me and say, like, why did this happen? Like, why are you, if you're saying that you want to work out all night, because why? And then they hear the story, and then it gives them an excuse. But you're a 24-hour facility, then you're prying into my life and trying to find a reason to hate somebody. And as soon as you find a reason to hate somebody, you'll make up a lie and say, oh, it's like just disturbing people, or like there was nobody there, like that there's nobody there. And and the worst part is that I had a job interview a couple days later, and I needed to shower for that job interview. Yeah. And yeah, it's just horrible. The police told me to file a lawsuit. This was like 700 days ago. I'll let that take an effect. This was over 700 days ago. The police told me to file a lawsuit. And due to these conditions, I haven't been able to file a lawsuit. The homeless shelter got angry because I went to court. They're like, dude, you can't go to court. If you go to court, like, you'll get, like, you're in court for too long. I'm like, yeah, the systemics of my issue requires intensive paperwork. Like, why don't you just hire? You're like, well, we hire lawyers for that reason. And I'm like, well, I have to donate plasma, and I'm $10 short in this hotel room, my stuff was stolen. And the shelter said it's my fault. Everybody says it's my fault. My grandmother became ill, and she was assaulted while she's in a wheelchair. She was assaulted before she was in a wheelchair, which led her to a wheelchair. And nobody would take care of her. The people who were supposed to prevent it said there was no issue. She needed to get to the doctor. The car was missing. And like the police blamed me, not for the car being missing, but for calling them. They're like, it's my fault for calling them. Like, they got angry. The police also got upset that I called them. Like, and like at the shelter, I'm using my other arm now. And like, it's just like it's been 2 seconds, and I feel like my muscles burning, and I shouldn't. It's just sad. Switch it. So I'm about to lose my idea. So another night when it was so cold, the police like asked me like, what would you want us to do about it? Like what? Like they can make up any excuse. The shelter that is, they can make up any excuse. And like I'm like, yeah, I know, I know, and I don't. And under these conditions, I would not pressure the police to deal with this issue. The law doesn't necessarily work that way. With the police in regards to the police, I told them that I'll handle it, but which I understand that it's very honorable and it's very well, it's very what's the right word? I'm so tired. I'm gonna use that. I don't like using that as an excuse for when I can't speak and my mind's not working, but it's because I'm tired. But it's very I don't want to use the word. I'm going to use the wrong word. So, but there's a lot of positivity that is associated with being able to kind of assess this problem. Those are the right words to use. But because I'm being prevented, and I am not being accommodated. I am not being accommodated, so it's very difficult to at least get back my possessions through damages, is what it would be, what it's called, damages to property. It's that I'm kind of spending, like, once again, if I only have like 1 hour to go to the library, if I only have 1 hour to go to the library, and I have to come back, regardless if it's food or the library. If I only have 1 hour, then it's like, it's virtually impossible. Not every library here in the city has like a table and a workstation. Like Hogwarts, like you like if you see Hogwarts and they see those long tables, like there's a place to study. It hasn't been like that. And then when I went back to my house, I was assaulted for filing the paperwork. And I briefly worked at a location that people were getting intoxicated at. I didn't want to work with people who were intoxicated, and I was handling heavy machinery. So I showed up late to the Rockford Rescue Mission. The state says I have that they're 24 hours, and so my return was lawful. They have had me under video surveillance the entire time I was there. With the windshield, it was like negative last night. I had not broken any rule, and so after I was told to leave, I pulled up my telephone and started recording me touching my belongings, and I was told because I would press record, it would now be the reason for me that I would have to leave, which were my belongings were already bagged up in a plastic bag. My coat, I had to leave my coat there, and so I was recording because of that. I needed my coat. I could not get my coat, and it was negative 21 degrees. I had to leave to use my telephone to call for help. I was previously threatened for plugging in my telephone there at the shelter. They would not let me use their telephone. The reason I left was due to medical, nutritional, and legal, for legal help. And upon returning, my belongings were bagged up, and I was immediately told to take them and leave, take my belongings and leave. After they took my phone, they punished me and made me sleep on the floor for plugging my phone in next to my bed, not using it. And I was punished several days following for that reason of plugging my phone into the wall. So after I plugged in my phone, I was punished and had to sleep on the floor, and I was not provided a locker. My stuff was taken in the locker, and for days I was hungry, and I was hungry and sleep deprived. I am in pain. Upon returning, if I had returned, I'd be forced to sit in a small, dark, small room, secluded, with no television or internet. I would not be able to use my telephone again, meaning that I cannot only use I cannot only not use their telephone, that I cannot use their telephone and I cannot use my own telephone, but I am not able to leave that room all weekend, as their intent for my return would have been for me to go back into that room and suffer over the weekend, which prevents me from which my reason for leaving was to address the conditions that I was placed into, the medical conditions. Because I had no money, and because transportation costs $55 for the month, and because they do not provide transportation, I had to go donate plasma.